Political scientist at the University of Ghana, Dr. Oduro Osae, says weak internal auditing systems by the state enterprises have been the bane of the many infractions, or have been the source of the many infractions characterizing the auditing functions of state organizations. He believes that a review of the Internal Auditing Act is key to preventing abuse of the public purse. He was speaking in an interview with Evans Mensah on PM Express. 2003,
the Internal Audit Agency Act was passed together with the Public Procurement Act and the Financial Administration Regulations, to the extent that it is a requirement for every institution at the national, subnational, parastatal, institutional level to have internal audits. Not only an internal auditor, but an internal audit unit, which should be made up of a number of qualified people who would help you control the system, or who would help you ensure that the weaknesses in the system are uncovered.
Okay.
The interesting thing is that these three laws were passed in the same year to inject financial discipline in the system. Two of these laws, Financial Administration Act, Public Procurement Act, have seen major revisions because of the way things are developing. Ask anybody what has become of the Internal Audit Agency Act, and that is where the challenge is. An act that was passed with a number of acts, PPA and then the FAA. Today we have the Public Financial Management Act. Today we have amended or reviewed the Public Procurement Act, but the Internal Audit Agency Act is as it is. You know, so the profession is not growing because we are not laying emphasis on it. But if we are able to support it, to reposition it, I can tell you that all the infractions the external auditor will come to expose may have been resolved before he comes in.
Corroborating the view of Dr. Oduro Osae, chairman of the Internal Audit Board, JoyNews, said his outfit has had to contend with a Herculean task in an effort to streamline the internal audit system.
Real block is this law which compromises the independence of the internal auditor. As was explained by Daniel, our internal auditors are actually employed by the MMDAs themselves directly. The attempt we have been trying to make, I mean, we started by thinking that, oh, there is the wish of Ghanaians, is the wish of even the leadership to ensure that we really protect the purse by ensuring that there's this preventive measures being put in place, which is the internal audit. We said, okay, let's bring in the stakeholders. And the stakeholders being the local government, Public Service Commission, and even the external auditors and so on. And we called it sensitizing them. When we started, it became a war zone. It was more of protection of thefts than really achieving a national objective. Because local government says, as a result of our decentralization policy, that is why we came up with this law, which, you know, enjoins that we employ our internal auditors to serve us. They've lost sight of the whole concept. So we said, let's change it to consultation and so on, because it was too much. Then we even wrote that, can you confirm your views? Because if we don't get their buy-ins, that is where we're going to be facing challenges, because these are our stakeholders in it. It's become difficult. As of today, we are still struggling. And it got to a point where we were saying how best we can work around it with the law in place. But honestly, it's going to be very difficult. So we are now pushing to have the law reviewed.